Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Luat here. We're going to have a quick look at the inverse square law. Um, just in layman's terms, I think just to explain exactly what it is, it just basically means it's light falling off. What that means is like if you have a look at this image over here, if you imagine somebody standing here holding the torch and or the flashlight, in South Africa we call it the torch, but holding the flashlight and pointing it down towards your feet, towards the feet, there would be a very, very bright light just right about here. Compared to when you lift up the flashlight and kind of shine it away from you, and imagine you have a wall or something right about here. The light's going to be a lot bigger and a lot softer. Light always travels in straight lines. I think we've mentioned that in a couple of the previous sessions. And it also opens up a little bit more like this. So you can imagine if we put a screen or something around here, the amount of light reflected off that screen is going to be a lot brighter than, let's say, for argument's sake, if you put it somewhere around here. You will still have a screen that is well lit and so on, but the light is going to be widely spread and very soft. And basically that is what the inverse square law entails, is that you lose light the further it moves away from the main light source. Please read through the rest of these illustrations. It's very self-explanatory, but it's really important for you to read this and just to make sure that you understand the principle behind this. The formula would look something like this. It's always your intensity of light equals 1 over the distance square. Now, you don't have to sit and do mathematics the whole time while you're shooting. If you understand the principle, then at some point you will definitely start to understand what the implications would be when light moves further or closer to your subject, or when the angle changes. It's very important to understand this. I have an assistant that assists me at weddings. He will hold the light for us, and sometimes I will ask him just to take a half a step closer or half a step further away, up and over, or just change the up and over, or tilt the light a little bit, and it doesn't take a big adjustment to get the light perfect. In the same way, it's not going to take a big adjustment to make you miss the shot in totality, so just have a look at this quickly with me. You've got your light, then you've got the power of your light, you've got the distance. Let's make these feet, let's say about 30 centimeters, or feet is fine, and then the percentage of light left, and that would be your light fall off. So if you switch on the light and you run it on a 1-to-1, run it full power, and you're able to take a reading, then you should have a reading of 1-to-1, being the light being at its strongest closer to the bulb or the source. If you move it another feet away, let's say you're 2 feet away now, all of a sudden your light intensity drops to 25%, and that means that between 1/1, or between 1 and 2 feet, you've literally lost 75% of your light, of the intensity of your light. That is how quickly your light falls off from the main source. So and it keeps on going like that. 3 feet away, you're left with 11% of the initial amount of light that you had. 4 feet away, 6%. 5 feet away, 4%. 6 feet away, 3%. And then the further away you go, the softer the light become, and the more light you lose. So even if I would ask my assistant just to step away like a half a meter, and the amount of light that you lose or gain by getting closer or further away is astounding. In the same way, if I ask them to tilt it, or just to kind of swivel the way away, or a little bit more towards, or towards the couple that be taking photos, it's amazing to see the difference in the quantity of light and the intensity of light that you are left with when you do that. So it's really important to understand that it takes a really small amount of movement to lose or to gain an incredible amount of light. So intensity of light is 1 over the distance square. Exactly the same. You can see the light opens up the further away it goes. Exactly the same as we had with this example over here. Yeah, so if you look at the, we use a different example. The sun is going to be, the further away the sun is, the more the light spread, and we end up with flat light. So if we draw a line from there to there and from there to there, we're going to end up with very soft light, kind of filling the entire one side or one half of the planet. If you think of planets that's a little bit further away, like Pluto, Mars, and so on, the sun would be a lot smaller and further away, so it's going to be colder, and the light intensity is going to be a lot different than, or a lot less than what we would have if if it was Earth, which is a little bit closer. This is a practical example that I want you guys to go and do. So all the instructions to get that done is here, just to illustrate the light fall off. Something else that you can also do with this is you take your flash, you put it up against your wall, and you measure it out like 30 centimeters with your ruler at a time, and then take a shot, with a little bit darker background and so on, and see for yourself the amount of light fall off that you lose the further away the light gets from the main light source. Very, very powerful tool, very handy to use indeed if you want to use a little bit of soft light just to kind of pop up your couple's faces or whatever, or you want to get that more dramatic kind of look with harder shadows, then your light will be a little bit closer and so on. Also, the size of your light diffuser, as I've said in some of the other sessions, if your light is just far away enough from your, let's say, an umbrella, which could be here, then it just needs enough time or enough distance to open up. The light needs to spread to hit the maximum amount of that surface of the light shaper that you choose, to enable you to produce very, very soft light from the entire front scrim of your light diffuser. We will look at that at a different time. There's really a vast amount of different light shapers available. They're widely available and readily available as well. They're not that expensive, and it's really something to invest your money into if you get to that point. So please do this exercise, set up the light, and see the light, have a look at the light spread. Measure out, make little measurements on the wall with a pencil or something, just to get an indication. If you shoot this against a dark wall, you're definitely going to see the light fall off from there. So yeah, and then right at the end you will have your worksheet to do as well. And have fun with this, man. This is if you really understand this, it's really going to open up a world of different possibilities for you and your business and your photography. Just understanding the amount of light that you lose and how you can utilize this and use this to your own benefit. Wonderful. We're looking forward to see you at the next session.